Thomas Jefferson was an American founding father who was the principal author of the Declaration of Independence and later served as the third President of the United States from 1801 to 1809. He graduated in 1762 the College of William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia. Jefferson married his third cousin Martha Wales Skelton in 1772. Jefferson was the primary author of the Declaration of Independence. He sought out John Adams, an emerging leader of the Congress. They became close friends, and Adams supported Jefferson's appointment to the Committee of Five, formed to draft the Declaration of Independence in furtherance of the League resolution passed by the Congress, which declared the United Colonies independent. The committee initially thought that Adams should write the document, but Adams persuaded the committee to choose Jefferson. Jefferson consulted with other committee members over the next 17 days and drew on his own proposed draft of the Virginia Constitution. On July 4, 1776, the Congress ratified the Declaration and delegates signed it on August 2. Also, he drafted a law for religious freedom as a Virginia legislator, and he served as a wartime governor. He became the United States Minister to France in May 1785. Jefferson left Paris in September 1789. Soon after returning from France, Jefferson accepted Washington's invitation to serve as Secretary of State. After he left the cabinet voluntarily, Washington never forgave him and never spoke to him again. Jefferson had always admired Washington's leadership skills, but felt that his Federalist Party was leading the country in the wrong direction. Jefferson thought it wise not to attend his funeral in 1799 because of acute differences with Washington while serving as Secretary of State. In the presidential campaign of 1796, Jefferson lost the Electoral College vote to Federalist John Adams by 71 to 68 and was elected vice president because of a mistake in voting for Adams's running mate. Jefferson and James Madison organized the Democratic-Republican Party to oppose the Federalist Party during the formation of the first party system. With Madison, he anonymously wrote the controversial Kentucky and Virginia resolutions in 1798 to 1799, which sought to embolden states' rights in opposition to the national government by nullifying the Alien and Sedition Acts. In the 1800s presidential election, Jefferson contended once more against Federalist John Adams. On February 17, 1801, after 36 ballots, the House elected Jefferson president and Burr vice president. He nominated moderate Republicans to his cabinet, James Madison as Secretary of State, Henry Dearborn as Secretary of War, Levi Lincoln as Attorney General, and Robert Smith as Secretary of the Navy. The Louisiana Purchase was one of the largest land deals in history. In 1803, the United States paid approximately $15 million for France for over 800,000 square miles of land, doubling the size of the United States. This land deal was arguably the greatest achievement of Thomas Jefferson's presidency. In 1803, Jefferson began a controversial process of Indian tribe removal to the newly organized Louisiana Territory, and he signed the act prohibiting importation of slaves in 1807. When he was a president, Jefferson adopted an assimilation policy towards American Indians, known as his Civilization Program, which included securing peaceful U.S.-Indian treaty alliances and encouraging agriculture. Jefferson's successful first term occasioned his renomination for president by the Republican Party, with George Clinton replacing Burr as his running mate. They won easily, promoting their achievement of a strong economy, lower taxes, and the Louisiana Purchase. Jefferson's popularity suffered in his second term due to his response to wars in Europe. Jefferson then led the enactment of the Embargo Act of 1807 directed at both France and Great Britain. This triggered economic chaos in the US and was strongly criticized at the time, resulting in Jefferson having to abandon the policy a year later. After 2 terms, he had lowered the national debt from 83 million to 57 million. Following his retirement from the presidency, Jefferson continued his pursuit of educational interests. He sold his vast collection of books to the Library of Congress. In 1819, the 76-year-old Jefferson founded the University of Virginia. Jefferson had a lifelong interest in linguistics, could speak, read and write in a number of languages including French, Greek, Italian and German. Presidential scholars consistently ranked Jefferson among the greatest presidents. Over his lifetime, he owned about 600 slaves. Jefferson felt slavery was harmful to both slave and master, but had reservations about releasing unprepared slaves into freedom and advocated gradual emancipation. Jefferson and John Adams had been good friends in the first decades of their political careers. The Federalist-Republican split of the 1790s divided them. The two men did not communicate directly for more than a decade after Jefferson succeeded Adams as president. In 1812, Adams wrote a short New Year's greeting to Jefferson to which Jefferson warmly responded. Over the next 14 years, the former presidents exchanged 158 letters discussing their political differences, justifying their respective roles in events, and debating the revolution's import to the world. On July the 4th at 12:50 p.m. Jefferson died at age 83 on the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence and just a few hours before the death of John Adams. When Adams died, his last words were, "Thomas Jefferson survives," though Adams was unaware that Jefferson had died several hours before. Jefferson died deeply in debt, unable to pass on his estate freely to his heirs. Jefferson has been memorialized with buildings, sculptures, postage, and currency. In the 1920s, Jefferson, together with George Washington, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln, was chosen by sculptor Gutzon Borglum and approved by President Calvin Coolidge to be depicted in stone at the Mount Rushmore Memorial.